The Ink and Paint Club podcast is intended for mature audiences. I know we're usually talking about kids' cartoons and stuff, but there's going to be naughty language. Anyway, listener discretion is advised.
I want to see ants. I want to see Ants Man fight Spiders Man.
How is Ants Man differ from Ant Man?
So whereas Ant Man is a man who controls ants, Ants Man is a hive mind of ants that compromise a man.
You're listening to the Ink and Paint Club podcast, your weekly home for animation reviews and discussions.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Ink and Paint Club podcast. My name is JD and I am joined by my good friend Matt.
Hello.
And Kyle couldn't be here because he got a new puppy recently and apparently he's very busy with that.
It's a good Shiba.
He's so flippin' cute.
It's very cute. Its name is
I
Ponzu.
want to squish his little face. And it's weird because I literally have my own puppy downstairs.
Yeah, I was about to say, because you just got a new pup like recently too.
Yeah, like a month ago.
Yeah, but it sounded like Bowie is kind of a handful too. Yeah,
Bowie's a punk. That's what he is. But we're not here to talk about dogs. I mean, I could, but
that'd be for the Ink and Paint. That'd be for the Ink and Paint Club dog cast.
Yeah,
the Ink and Paint Club dog cast, JD.
I get it. I ain't laughing.
I get it. No, I get it. I ain't laughing, but I get it.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry, my bad meatwad.
It's a beautiful meatwad. So, after almost 5 years of development, Gone Gulch is finally out, everybody.
It is. Woo.
It came out the other day. And I gotta say, it was pretty good.
It was great.
I loved it.
Yeah. Kyle said that he really enjoyed it too.
Well, that's good. I like when Kyle enjoys things.
Yeah. So that was the episode, everybody. Thanks for listening.
All right, we'll be back again next week. If you're unfamiliar with what Gone Gulch is, it is a fully developed animated pilot created by Tara Billinger and Zach Bellissimo. They both work in the animation industry. Tara works for Disney. She's partially responsible for the way those new Mickey Mouse shorts look.
Yeah, and then Zach's worked on a ton of other stuff. Teen Titans Go, Victor Valentino, Rick and Morty, Super Jail, Motor City, Right Now Kapow. He's got a pretty neat resume.
So animation industry professionals. Yeah, so 5 years ago, they started this Kickstarter because they wanted to make this animated pilot, which is this weird amalgamation of westerns, rockabilly style, but also every conceivable cryptid myth under the sun. And it's you think with all those kind of different ideas, you think it wouldn't work, but it comes together really well.
It's a great little package.
And it's a lot to do with really strong character designs, really funny writing. I was I hope that there's more of this, because I would totally watch this show if it was on TV.
I really wouldn't be surprised if it gets picked up before in the time that it takes for us to record this and for the episode to come out. I would be surprised if it hadn't already gotten picked up by somebody.
So that's what I'm wondering, is if they made this strictly to be a one-off thing, or if they're planning to make more things for the internet, or if this was made strictly to be able to shop it around.
I kind of have a feeling that's what it was, because that's usually with a lot of these projects that end up on crowdsourcing websites. or crowdfunding website, sorry, is typically like as pilots, and then they're so that they're able to shop it around to try to, not just series, but like I know movies have done that too.
Yeah.
As far as how successful any of those have been is hard to say. I couldn't remember, was Has Been Hotel crowd funded?
I think so.
Okay, and
Yeah,
that's one of the things where like
they-
that one got picked up pretty quickly.
Speaking of Has Been real quick, Mel and I were watching the second episode of their other series, Hell of a Boss.
Yeah.
And I just think it's weird how like I feel like Has Been was in development for so long, and then like they already have 2 episodes of Hell of a Boss out, and I don't know if we've heard anything about a second episode of Has Been.
Yeah,
but obviously Has Been got picked up by A24, so I think they're trying to shop that around the networks right now.
Yeah, super weird. But congratulations to them. We need to see more of both of those.
But yeah, I mean, I think we're just from that and from like Has Been and now Long Gone Gulch. I think we're just in a really good time now where all this like really high quality independent animation is coming out. Just like really good quality, and it's like we're not having to rely strictly on what Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon or Disney is putting out, because all these independent stuff, you're even getting like more just like interesting concepts that the networks generally wouldn't do.
Take a risk on.
Yeah, exactly. Long Gone is kind of an interesting. It's kind of interesting because they actually got a few like industry voice actors to be in this.
Yeah, like it was E.G. Daily does Rawhide.
Yeah, and Danny Cooksey does why am I blanking? Snag, thank you. It's like I could see it in my brain.
And it's funny because you're listening to them banter, and it's just like it's just Buttercup and Jack Spicer.
Yeah. Actually, I was thinking the entire time I couldn't unhear Tommy Pickles.
It was kind of like coming in and out like between Tommy and Buttercup for me.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I guess we can just kind of start about like what this short is about. It's about 20 minutes, so it's this the length of a normal television episode. And it's about these 2 sheriffs at this middle of nowhere western town, the Long Gone Gulch. Rawhide is more of this kind of like stereotypical cowgirl, wants to be the sheriff of this town. And Snag is this kind of like greaser rockabilly kind of character who's her partner. There's the mayor, who is a jackalope, and then the town is just populated by all these different kind of monsters and cryptids and stuff. Like their friends are like a living cactus and a Sasquatch.
There's all those what did they call the creatures? They were tumbleweedians. And they're like tumbleweeds, but they like have spider legs.
BW is just like an Indian shaman. The main gang of bandits is like led by a shark man, and his like compatriots are all like scorpions and stuff.
Yeah, that's Mako, if I remember right.
Yeah,
who's voiced by Eric Baza.
Yeah, which didn't Eric get named as like he's the new voice of Bugs Bunny or?
Well, no, I mean he's been voicing Bugs and Daffy and a lot of those characters for like a long time now. But okay. I think especially I know that there was a piece that came out on him fairly recently because they're doing that the new Space Jam. So
okay.
That's the first.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
That's the first big Looney Tunes project that's come out at least theatrically since Back in Action. So
yeah, okay, that's what I was thinking about. But yeah, the animation in this is really well done. A lot of internet animation people worked on this. A few that I follow. I've been following for years. It was really interesting to see their names in the credits, and I know they've been showing progress shots periodically over the years.
Yeah, it was interesting to see everything finally brought together because following through the progress of this, like on the YouTube and stuff, they were posting up clips, out of context clips here and there of like the roughs and then like the inks and the colors and stuff, and it was great to just finally get to see it like all in its intended order and everything, and yeah. I wanted to ask, did you back the Kickstarter for this?
I did not.
Okay.
I think when they originally announced this back in like 2016, I think
It was.
That was JD was a broke bitch era.
Oh, yeah. They did the Kickstarter at the beginning of August 2016. I believe they had some supplemental stuff after that. Like they met their goal and everything. It was 722 backers. The goal was like 25,000, and they walked away with like nearly 39,000. And then I think they probably did. I'm not sure if it's Indiegogo, but it was like one of those other sites where I think you could provide additional funding. I'm not sure if it's timed or anything, but yeah, no, I kickstarted this, and it's always great to see a project that you kickstarted, actually, come out and be as great as this is. I don't recall if I did any tiers or anything like that. I remember like getting a letter in the mail from like that was addressed from Gone Gulch and everything. I left it at my old place. I have to dig it up to see. Like I can't. I think it might have came with like a sticker or something, or like a little sheriff's badge, but it was neat.
Awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm actually wondering too, because that Kickstarter came out in August 2016. But I know that they had like some test like lip syncing footage and like some other stuff that they had uploaded like a year before that. And so I'm wondering exactly when the inkling of Long Gone Gulch actually came to be. Like, I wonder how long they were actually working on it before they ended up with a Kickstarter.
Right. So, I mean, obviously it's been a long time coming, and I mean, it's been interesting just this whole time watching the progress shots and just seeing it all come together. And I mean, I'm going to be honest. Like, I think this is well worth the wait. I know they like just put so much work into this.
Yeah,
and like it's just really good quality. And something I want to give this credit to, as I've kind of noticed this in some other like big like pilot animations where they get a bunch of different artists to work on it. Some of the other ones I've seen, I'm pretty sure I remember this in Has-Been. Very the animation quality wasn't exactly cohesive all the way through. Like you could kind of tell when someone else worked on a certain shot. I didn't get as much of a feeling from this. I felt like this was pretty smooth all the way through. There wasn't a certain shot where like, okay, the animation is kind of lagging in this shot, or like I can definitely tell they're drawn by a different artist in this shot than the one before.
Well, I mean, there's one shot in here that kind of has fun with that, though. There's near the end of the episode, there's the stare down between Rawhide and Mako, and they cycle through like about like 100 different shots, and I think they were all done. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they're all done by like other people, and like they just kind of compiled them all together.
Yeah,
all like a bunch of like fan art or something, but like them staring at each other, and it's a really great shot. I didn't like pause or comb through it, but I remember there was like an ice cream bar version of Rawhide, and then there was like a puppet version of Mako, and they're like,
yeah, I think they even had the little Maquette figure that they made of Rawhide in there.
Oh,
but it's actually been really fun on Twitter, and after this got released, is like everyone who made something for that sequence was like, "Here's my piece I did for the stare down sequence."
Yeah,
so that's been fun. So I mean, I think everyone did a really good job vocally for this.
Yeah, no, the voice performances are great. Like, it's funny because like I had mentioned, they'd done some test footage just for lip syncing and stuff. That had been uploaded on that YouTube channel before they ended up doing the Kickstarter and stuff. And it's funny because I guess they always had was it Danny Cooksey in mind for Snag, because they had lip synced Snag to like his band or something like that. And so I guess that was really fun that they actually ended up getting him.
Yeah, no, he fits into that role perfectly. Like I said, I like E.G. Daily as like she does a really like performance-wise does a really good job as Rawhide. I just can't. There's certain actors that have just like a specific voice, and I can't unhear them as that actor. I have the same problem with like Tom Kenny and Tara Strong. Like I don't hear them as characters anymore. I just hear that actor.
Right.
It's just I can't disconnect my brain from that.
I felt like she did a good enough job differentiating it from like Buttercup and Tommy, where the Rawhide sounded like her own character. But yeah, she does have one of those specific types of voices where it's like, yeah, you listen to her do a performance, and you are kind of thinking in the back of your head like, oh, okay, that is Tommy or that is Buttercup or something.
Right.
It's not like 'cause I was gonna say, like, if you hadn't told me, because I'm honestly not that familiar with Eric Boz's body of voice work, other than I know that he's been doing Bugs and Daffy and like other Looney Tunes characters. But like, yeah, I mean, he's got really good range, because like, yeah, I wouldn't have been able to tell you that was
I honestly kind of equate I kind of equate Eric Bauza with D. Bradley Baker, in the sense that like he does like so many voices and has like so like different. It's like Eric can change his voice the way that D. Bradley Baker does monster noises.
Yeah.
Just like all these different voices, and like you can't really tell it's him sometimes.
I wonder if Eric does it in the same way, where he has to like hold pieces of his face back and like all over to try to get certain voices like D. Bradley Baker does. You ever seen footage of him like doing monster?
Oh yeah,
like that's hilarious.
Yeah, I think they put out a video of like him doing the Ben 10 monster voices, and just like the weird ways he has to do the noises. It's just so fucking weird.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
Yeah, there's only one character in here that I like the performance of. I just don't think it like fits as well with everybody else, and that was BW's voice.
It definitely seemed like like a little bit of an outlier, and yeah, I wasn't sure if that specific actress might have been not a rookie or anything, but like
No, I was looking her up earlier. Her name's Amber Midthunder.
What a name! That's awesome.
Well, I wanted to give them credit because the BW is obviously supposed to be like a Native American character, and they got an actual like Native American actor to be her. She's been in a few things. She was in that X-Men Legion show that was on FX for a while. I don't know if that's still going or not, but doesn't look like it. But like I said, I think her performance was good. It's just her voice seemed out of place with these very cartoony voices, whereas hers is more of like felt like more of a real voice, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, well, I guess if you just kind of look at the way the character's portrayed in there too, it's BW seems like a bit more of a grounded character. Like, even though there's like
grounded is a good point. And it makes me wonder if, because E.G., Danny, and Eric, they're obviously like voice actors. I wonder if Amber is like hasn't before or hasn't done much voice acting. And I think there is definitely a big difference between live acting and doing voice acting, just the way you do voice performance and like the tone of your voice and stuff. So maybe it's just she hasn't done a lot of voice acting.
Like my favorite example to use for that specific thing, like as far as like the differences between voice acting and like live action acting, is Michael Cera. because most people are familiar with Michael Cera in like live action films and like in the very specific way and how he acts and talks and everything. But
Yeah.
then when you actually hear him like do voice acting, he is actually a lot more emotive and stuff that you're typically expecting of him. Like if
Right.
you watch the live action Scott Pilgrim movie and then you watch Scott Pilgrim versus the animation where he actually did the voice acting for Scott in that, you can tell that there's actually like a fair bit of difference there.
I will say I agree with you, but I also think that his delivery in that animated short is really awkward.
It is, but I mean it still shows that because I've heard him and like do voice acting for other stuff too. But I'm just saying like as far as like an approachable way, for somebody out there that wants to kind of hear the difference between like how he does the same character but in live action and then in animation. Like I said, I mean the direction is one thing, but the actual performance is is a separate thing.
Gotcha.
So yeah, there's definitely something to be said there about doing like and a live action acting role and then a voice acting role. They require certain they do require there's differences between them.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so I don't think I don't think BW's actress was bad by any measure. I just think it just sounded different than everybody else's.
But it was fitting for the character.
Oh yeah, it was like it fit for the character.
Yeah.
And I think for 20 minutes, for a 20-minute thing, they shoved a lot of characters in here, but like still kept the focus on our two mains. So all these characters they're trying to introduce, like they don't feel overwhelming or it feels like it's crowded. Like you meet Pinchley and Squatch for like a hot second just to meet them, and
then you catch little glimpses of them like throughout.
Yeah. Like the mayor is there to kind of bookend this, but not really that big a deal. BW is kind of there for like a fight scene and then like shows up for like another scene real quick.
Oh, I wanted to ask you, for the mayor, there's the bit in there where he gets like his pelt like taken off. Did he not look like Ren?
A little bit.
Like the skin tone was right, the color of the eyes were right, the way that he was drawn was just like it was almost like it was just Ren, but he had like the jackalope horns, like
right.
And I wonder if that was intentional.
I don't know exactly. I will say that so Carl, I think it's Hadrika. I think he works in animation like professionally and is known for like his own independent animations. He did that Becky Prim animated shorts a while back. Yeah, Carl's worked on like SpongeBob and all kinds of stuff. Okay. But I want to say that the mayor I felt was very much a Carl character because of like a lot of the weird faces he makes are like that's definitely how Carl draws a face.
Sure.
I didn't really think about him looking like Ren when he gets his pelt burned off. But
you should go back and look at him because like he looks like a dead ringer.
Right.
It's like the resemblance is so strong. I feel like it had to be intentional. Like
maybe
that's pretty funny.
Yeah, I have no idea. But yeah,
should we mention how there's Ink and Paint Club alumni that show up in this short?
Yeah, if you notice, I think they've posted about it on Twitter already, but there's a scene where Rawhide pulls up her like big like board of wanted posters, and the members of the Pizza Party podcast are on some of the wanted posters.
Yeah, the only one that I picked out because, like I said, I just watched through the short the once, but I did see Pan because he's off to like the side, like to the very left.
If I remember right, Pan is off to the left. Izzy and Jim are off to the top left. One's over on the right side. It's actually funny because I think Izzy posted it again recently. Tara and Zach actually did do a drawing of the podcast members, like in the Gulch style.
Oh, cool.
It's pretty much. I think it's pretty much just the pictures they used for the Warner posters, but it's all four of them, like in the Gulch style, which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But man, I gotta say, just overall, I really enjoyed this. I was really happy that it finally came out. I like Western aesthetic stuff. Like I like some a good handful of like Western movies. So
who doesn't love a good Western?
Well, I was just gonna say I already kind of like enjoy that aesthetic, so I was already kind of on board for this, and like I had followed Tara's art for years. I already enjoyed her style. And then every time they would show more character designs, I'm like, I really enjoy this design sensibility. So like I'm down for this. And like every time they put out a new piece of like in progress material, a new trailer or something, it just made me like more excited for that. And then, you know, a couple weeks ago, they're like, hey, by the way, it's going to be out on the 11th. And I'm like, all right, finally, let's do this.
Yeah, and it was crazy because they put out the trailer for, like, they did the Kickstarter in 2016, but they put out a trailer for it like in 2018.
Dude, it was really funny because Mel and I were watching this, and I just looked up Long Gone on the YouTube search, and so it showed up with the actual short, but next to it, the next search results were like all the stuff they did. So it was funny. We're like, okay, like initial trailer is 3 years ago, then we have a teaser trailer 2 years ago, then we have another trailer that's like last year, and then we have like the official like teaser launch trailer a month ago.
Yeah, and of course, you know, animation takes time and all that, but it's funny because like I watched the short, and then I watched that trailer from 2018, and then I watched the Kickstarter trailer from like 2016, and it was just funny to kind of see, because it looks like for the most part all the shots from the 2018 trailer are pretty much how they're presented in the pilot, but then like you go and you watch the Kickstarter one, and that's just, of course, it's a bunch of scenes, you know, made just for the Kickstarter.
Yeah, that was just cons.
Yeah, but it was like really cool just to see the progression of like how they envision it and how it actually ended up, because like I said, I mean, like we've already, you know, said ad nauseum, like it looks great, like it looks incredible, but like just to see kind of like, yeah, the inkling of the idea they had, and then like to actually see it come to fruition is just like, you know, very cool.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just overall, I think everyone involved in this, voice actors, artists, I just think this all came together really well. And I'm always happy when this kind of stuff when this happens, because clearly you can see just looking at it, and especially like looking at through all the posts that the artists have been making about this, you can tell a lot of love went into this. So I am always just impressed when any artist can just sit down, especially for this long, like over like almost 5 years, probably more than that, and see a project like this through, and for it to come out like with this level of quality. But it's just impressive.
Yeah, y'all did a really good job, and hopefully this does lead to a larger series, because I know I know that I would very much enjoy, like, you know, a season's worth of this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would love to see this as a full series. So Zach, Terry, you did a great job. If you ever end up listening, we'll see. Matt, is there anything else you want the people to know before we start wrapping up here?
No, you know, just yeah, definitely check this out. It's only like 22 minutes on YouTube. It's free. It's, you know, it just take a little bit of time out of your day to watch a very good chunk of animation done by people who very clearly loved what they were doing.
Yeah, definitely check this out if you haven't. It's well worth your time. But with that, everybody, thank you for listening. Let us know what you thought Long Gone Gulch in our comment section. You know, did you like it? What, you know, all that good stuff. But I think that'll do it for us today. Hope everyone is staying safe, and we will catch you all again next week.
YEE HAW!
Thanks for listening. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter to keep up with the show. You can also jump in our Discord to keep up with the conversation. The Ink and Paint Club podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts. Links, as always, are in the description. We'll see you next time.